Hello everyone, a very warm welcome to Novation. I'm Shantanu and I welcome you all to a very important history static GK session जिसमें हम लोग बात करने वाले हैं ब्रिटिश राज के टाइम पे जो गवर्नर जनरल्स थे इंडिया के उनके बारे में एंड वट एवर इम्पॉर्टेंट सिग्निफिकेंट इवेंट्स विच टुक अंडर देयर रूल will also discuss those events in a very short and quick manner. So this is going to be a very important session if you're preparing for exams like TISNET or CMAT. So please watch the video till the end and I'm pretty sure that this will be very helpful for you. Okay, and अगर आपने पुराने 4 पार्ट्स नहीं देखे हैं स्टैटिक जी के हिस्ट्री के तो प्लीज़ आप उनको भी देखिए. उनकी जो प्लेलिस्ट है वो मैं डिस्क्रिप्शन सेक्शन में भी डालूंगा और आपको टॉप राइट कॉर्नर पर भी मिल जाएगी. ऑलराइट, and as always you can contact me on any of these social media platform if you have any query related to your preparation. I will surely try to help you. Also please visit novation.in. Here you can get the free PDFs of these lectures and also give some quizzes. Also if you like the content of Novation you can support Novation by going to the donate button. Alright friends, so with that I'll start today's session. So let's first understand two terminologies, that is Governor General and Viceroy. Now, Governor General was the administrative head of India or the British Raj in India before 1857 or up till 1857. या तो Governor General of Bengal होते थे या Governor General of India, and these were appointed by the East India Company because East India Company was basically administering the rule in India. But after 1857, this title was changed to Viceroy, and the rule of India was transferred from the East India Company to the Crown in Britain, and hence the title was changed from Governor General to Viceroy. So difference नहीं है, head ही है दोनों, बस title का difference है. Okay, so starting with Warren Hastings, whose rule was from 1773 to 1785. The first act under his rule was Regulating Act of 1773. So this was passed by the British Parliament to regulate the rule of East India Company in India because they found that there are lots of cases of misgovernance by EIC in India. So that's why the British Parliament started to take control over EIC and certain of its territories. Coming to the Act of 1781, so this was also an important act because it clearly demarcated or clearly divided the powers of Supreme Court and the Governor General in Council. Okay, their power were clearly divided. Coming to the Pitt's India Act, so this is somewhat related to Regulating Act. So जो Regulating Act में कमियां लगी British Parliament को, they thought that there are certain deficiencies in it. So they released another act, Pitt's India Act, to remove the problems or deficiencies of Regulating Act. Coming to the Rohilla War of 1774, so here the British people or the Britishers in India, they supported Ayodhya's Nawab to defeat the Rohilla people. These were basically Pashtun people in the northern India, and basically they fought with the Nawabs and they defeated Rohillas. Next, coming to the first Maratha War, so this is very important. It started in 1775 and ended in 82. And basically here the Marathas they defeated Britishers, and then the Treaty of Salbai was signed, and in this treaty it was written that for the next 20 years there will be no war and there will be complete peace. So 20 साल तक बिल्कुल भी लड़ाई नहीं हुई. आगे जाके 2 wars और हुए थे जिसमें मराठा एम्पायर फिर धीरे धीरे हारता गया ब्रिटिशर्स से. Coming to the second Mysore War, so after this war, basically Britishers got a lot of control over the southern India in 1718 to 84. Next comes Lord Cornwallis, and his rule was from 1786 to 1793. So under him, third Mysore War was waged by the Britishers, and at the end of this war, Mysore was brutally beaten. And this war ended with the Treaty of Seringapatam, in which Mysore has to cede more than half of its land to the Britishers and to the allies of Britishers. Coming to Cornwallis Code of 1973, so it incorporated several judicial reforms and separation of revenue administration and civil jurisdiction. Coming to the next one, Europeanization of administrative machinery and introduction of civil services. So under his rule, civil services were started, and it was done in a very in the fashion of European countries. Okay. Next, we'll see Sir John Shore, from 1793 to 1798. So only one major event. Charter Act of 1793 was passed by the British Parliament. So basically EIC, that is East India Company, was working under a charter. उसके भी कुछ rules थे, regulations थे, उसको बोलते थे charter. So this act basically renewed that East India Company's charter. Okay. So one more thing related to Charter Act of 1793. This act was also known as the East India Company Act of 1793. Okay, we'll move forward. Next, coming to Lord Wellesley. So he was ruling from 1798 to 1805. So it started with the introduction of subsidiary alliance system of 1798. So under this subsystem, every princely state, the king or the ruler, has to pay some hefty amount to the Britishers for the maintenance of their British army, and they were also compelled to have a British army garrison in their princely state. So that was subsidiary alliance system. Coming to the fourth Mysore War. So this was the final Mysore War, in which Britishers and their allies basically completely defeated Mysore kingdom, and they took over the capital, and the ruler, who was Tipu Sultan, he was killed in this battle. Now after this, the fall of Mysore, only Marathas was the major power remaining in India in terms of the number of territories. So they were having territories in 5 major places: Indore, Gwalior, Baroda, Pune and Nagpur. But these Marathas, they were also having conflicts between themselves. So जो पुणे के बाजीराव II थे, he was defeated by the Indore kingdom. So basically he wanted to have protection from the Britishers. So उन्होंने Britishers से हाथ मिला लिया, and he signed a Treaty of Bassein. And in this treaty, what he did, he gave up or ceded certain territories of Pune or his kingdom, and he got the protection of Britishers. Now, what happened in 1803, when the treaty ended, that there will be peace for 20 years. After that ended, Britishers actually waged a war against Marathas. So in 1803, they waged this war and they defeated the Marathas. मतलब पांचों जगह जो भी territories थी उनको हरा दिया. एंड मोस्ट ऑफ द सेंट्रल इंडिया, जो भी सेंट्रल इंडिया का पार्ट था, मोस्टली वो चला गया ब्रिटिशर्स के हाथों आफ्टर दिस सेकेंड मराठा वॉर एंड द डिफीट ऑफ मराठास. और ये मराठास की डिफीट मोस्टली इसी हुई क्योंकि वो खुद में ही एक्चुअली बहुत ज़्यादा कन्फ्लिक्ट्स होने लगे थे उनके, इसलिए ब्रिटिशर्स ने उसका फ़ायदा उठाया. आगे बढ़ते हैं. सर जॉर्ज बार्लो ऑफ 1805 to 1807. So he was the acting Governor General of India until the arrival of Lord Minto I, who was the next Governor General after him. And another important thing, mutiny of Vellore took place in 1806 under his rule. So mutiny of Vellore is an important incident because it was the first major revolt or mutiny before the Great Revolt of 1857. यहाँ पर भी जो Vellore के Indian soldiers थे उन्होंने revolt किया था against British Army. Okay, so this was an important incident, hence I kept it. Next, coming to Lord Minto I, he ruled from 1807 to 1813, and only one major event I'll discuss: Treaty of Amritsar with Ranjit Singh. So Maharaja Ranjit Singh was a Sikh leader, and through this treaty, Britishers gave him a complete freedom to expand his kingdom in the northern part of India. So that was the major incident. Coming to Lord Hastings, he ruled from 1813 to 1823. Under his rule, EIC, that is East India Company, waged the Anglo-Nepal War. So basically this war was against the Gorkha Kingdom, because Nepal was not known at that time. It was called Gorkha Kingdom only. And this war basically ended with Treaty of Sagoli, in which Nepal was brutally defeated and they had to cede almost 1/3 of their territories to East India Company. Then happened the third Maratha War from 1817 to 1819, जिसमें मराठा किंगडम ऑलमोस्ट पूरी तरह से हार चुका था और ब्रिटिशर्स गॉट द control of most part of India at this point in time. Coming to the establishment of Rayotwari system. So Rayotwari system is basically a land revenue system created by the government of Lord Hastings, and in this system the revenue or the tax of the land was collected directly from the peasants. They were like the owners of their land, and there was no middleman. Okay, so they were basically extracting tax from our own land, from our own farmers, okay, from this system. And Mahalwari system is also similar to Rayotwari system, in which the land was considered was actually considered a mahal, in which one mahal can have many villages, one or more villages, and जो भी village representative होता था या village का leader होता था, he was giving the taxes after collecting it from various individuals. So यहाँ पर भी individuals ही owner थे. So kind of really similar to what Rayotwari system is all about. Next, coming to Lord Amherst from 1823 to 1828. Only one major thing I'll tell you: the first Burmese war. So they, fought another war against Burma. So it was one of the longest war and the most expensive for the British government. We'll move forward. Next, coming to Lord William Bentinck. He ruled from 1828 to 1835, and under this Charter Act of 1833, the British Parliament changed the title of Governor General of Bengal to Governor General of India. So अभी जो हमने सारे इससे पहले Governor General देखे, they were titled as Governor General of Bengal. But through this 1833 charter, this title was changed to Governor General of India. So you can say that Bentinck was the first Governor General of India. इनसे पहले जो भी थे, they were Governor General of Bengal. जस्ट टाइटल का डिफरेंस है, आप इसमें कंफ्यूज बिल्कुल मत होइएगा. ही ऑल्सो अबॉलिश द सती प्रथा और द सती सिस्टम, एंड ही सप्रेस ठगी, इन्फेंटिसाइड एंड चाइल्ड सेक्रीफाइसेस. सो ठगी इज नथिंग बट मोबिलाइज्ड रॉबरी. आप ग्रुप में कुछ गलत काम कर रहे हो, दैट इज ठगी. He also passed the English Education Act of 1835, and this basically was about using English as a medium of teaching the citizens of India. Okay. Next, coming to Lord Metcalfe of 1835 to 1836, only 1 year. So he did an important reform. He passed a new press law which removed the restrictions on the press of India. इससे पहले कई restrictions होते थे हमारी press पे, but इन्होंने वो restrictions को हटा दिया through a new law. Next we have Lord Auckland of 1836 to 1842. This person dedicated himself to the improvement of native schools of India and the expansion of commercial industry of India. He also waged the first Anglo-Afghan War of 1838 to 1842. Next we have Lord Ellenborough from 1842 to 1844. So under his rule, the East India Company annexed the Sindh princely state, उसको कब्जे में ले लिया. Then we have war with Gwalior. So इन्होंने ग्वालियर के साथ भी war wage किया. Next we have the important events under Lord Hardinge I of 1844 to 1848. So under his rule, first Anglo-Sikh War was waged from 1845 to 46, and Sikh kingdom was, it got defeated by the East India Company, and it lost lots of its territories to the East India Company. This war ended with the Treaty of Lahore. So basically, Britishers army, they even marched to Lahore, which was under the Sikh kingdom, and this treaty was signed in Lahore. So Lord Hardinge also focused on social reforms, including abolition of female infanticides and human sacrifice. Coming to Lord Dalhousie of 1848 to 1856. So under his rule, second Anglo-Sikh War was waged from 48 to 49, and Sikh basically lost this war, and they also lost Punjab. So Punjab was also annexed by East India Company in 1849. Lord Dalhousie also introduced the doctrine of lapse. So this is really very important. So according to this system or condition, if any Indian princely state which was dominated by the Britishers, if the ruler dies without any heir or any son, or if he does not have any son, that kingdom will lose its princely status. वो प्रिंसली स्टेटस नहीं बचेगा और ब्रिटिश उस पर कब्जा कर लेंगे. ओके, सो दैट वाज द डॉक्ट्राइन ऑफ लैप्स. ये वहीं हो सकता था जहां पर ब्रिटिशर्स ने अपने डमी रूलर्स बिठा के रखे हैं ताकि वो सिर्फ रूल करें, बट अगर उनका कोई बेटा नहीं होगा तो ब्रिटिशर्स उनकी किंगडम को हथिया लेंगे. Coming to Wood's Education Dispatch, it was prepared by Charles Wood, who was the president of the Board of Control of 1854. So according to this rule or the dispatch, he mentioned that in the primary education, that should be done in vernacular language. यानी कि जो भी local language है उसी में ही primary language में ही education दी जाए up till primary schools. बट जो इंग्लिश है, इंग्लिश को हायर एजुकेशन में ही इंट्रोड्यूस किया जाए. ये वुड्स एजुकेशन डिस्पैच था. laying down a first railway line between Bombay and Thane. So it's another important thing which took place in the rule of Lord Dalhousie. He also led various telegram and postal reforms. So 4,000 mile of telegraph line was laid down to connect Calcutta and Bombay, Madras and Peshawar. He also established separate public works department in every province. He legalized the widow remarriage by the passing of Widow Remarriage Act of 1856. Next, coming to the last Governor General, Lord Canning of 1856 to 1857. So he established 3 universities at Calcutta, Madras, Bombay and in 1857, and finally under his rule a revolt of 1857 took place. ओके सो आप इसके बारे में ज़रूर पढ़िएगा, द ग्रेट रिवॉल्ट ऑफ 1857 बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है आपके हिस्ट्री के पेपर के लिए. और फ्रेंड्स लॉर्ड कैनिंग ही जाके हमारे पहले वाइसरॉय बने थे, जो कि हम आने वाले वीडियो में डिस्कस करेंगे. सो फ्रेंड्स विद दैट वी कम टू एन एंड टू दिस एक्साइटिंग सेशन. आई होप द वीडियो वॉज हेल्पफुल एंड आई रिक्वेस्ट यू कि प्लीज़ आप इस वीडियो को लाइक कीजिए, शेयर कीजिए एंड सब्सक्राइब टू नोवेशन फॉर मोर सच इंपॉर्टेंट वीडियोज ऑन हिस्ट्री, ज्योग्राफी एंड अदर स्टैटिक जीके टॉपिक्स. एंड आई विल ऑल्सो रिक्वेस्ट यू दैट प्लीज़ visit novation.in. Here you can support Novation by going to the donate button, because Novation needs your support. So friends, thanks a lot again. I'll meet you again next time. Until then, bye bye and please take care.